In the fourth season of Kitchen Nightmares, Gordon Ramsay headed to Classic American, located in West Babylon, New York. It's your run-of-the-mill diner that is owned by Colleen and Naomi, both of whom were formerly waitresses at the restaurant before going on to buy it from the previous owner. Colleen's son Kevin was later made head chef, and her boyfriend Dom became the unofficial manager.
I started hooking up with Colleen, and then she said, well, I could use you at the restaurant. So she's using me.
Things started off well, and it was all smooth sailing. But 10 years on, it's all gone south. There were barely any customers, no money was being made, and there was trouble brewing in the back with nobody steering the ship.
We need someone to show us the way.
Can Gordon Ramsay help Classic American keep its doors open by showing them the way? Gordon arrives and is greeted by Dom. The first thing Gordon notices is how small the dining area is, not to mention the lack of customers. Gordon asks if it is normally this quiet, and Dom replies that on Saturday it is. Wait, isn't Saturday supposed to be the day where it's more crowded? Gordon looks at Dom and assumes he's been in the restaurant business for 30 years. To his surprise, Dom tells him he's only been doing it for 6 and was a bricklayer prior. That's one heck of a career transition. Gordon is even more surprised when he learns that Dom is a former customer, now dating one of the owners in Colleen. Dom introduces Colleen and Naomi to Gordon, who asks them to get him up to speed with the diner and how they came to own it. Colleen reveals she and Naomi bought the place for $240,000, but that was only the business. For the property, they had to spend another $440,000. That's a lot of dough. Gordon asks for the one big problem that Classic American is facing. A nervous Colleen has a hard time answering, with one specific problem which leads Gordon to focus on the food. As he sits down, he notices a sign that says, "Enter as strangers, leave as friends," to which he humorously remarks,
"Enter as a stranger, start dating the owner,"
in reference to Dom. The bubbly but nervous waitress Ashley greets Gordon and reveals she's been working there for 10 years, stating how everything is like a family. With vast menu options to choose from, Ashley recommends one of her favorites in the fried calamari. Gordon goes along with it and proceeds to order the bomb burger and some mac and cheese. Gordon receives the mac and cheese almost instantly and assumes it's pre-made, as it looks like it could be boxed Kraft mac and cheese from the grocery store. Unsurprisingly, it doesn't taste good at all, and Ashley reveals they don't make their own mac and cheese. The fried calamari arrives, and Gordon notes how it's soft and chewy. He also learns that it's frozen and of course sends it back. Kevin shows his frustration by slamming the pan, but is confident the bomb burger will at least make a good impression.
Everyone loves the bomb. That's one of our house specialties, but he's definitely going to enjoy that one.
We all know what that means. Gordon tries it out and is not impressed. He struggles to find the actual burger and all that bun.
Where's the beef?
And complains that there's no seasoning and that it's chewy. He sends it back, asking Kevin to try it. Kevin does and says it's great. Nothing like denial. Gordon goes to the back and meets Kevin and gives him his honest rating of the food. Dom remarks with some refreshing honesty,
Personally, I like the food, but what the do I know? I was a bricklayer. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm a bricklayer from Paterson, New Jersey.
Gordon gives it to everyone straight. The food is bad, the menu is hideous, and the place is miserable. He rips into Kevin, which pisses the latter off. Colleen starts crying, saying that she does care but is dealing with payroll issues, especially with Naomi having a baby and her son having a baby as well. She can't even pay Kevin. Gordon then learns that nobody is on the payroll and that even the owners haven't been paid in a year. Gordon didn't expect things to be this bad and goes for a walk as he strategizes his plans for Classic American. Dom goes to comfort Colleen as she cries.
He's right, you know? We lost our hearts. I feel so bad.
Don't feel bad.
It's the evening service on day 1, and Gordon wants to see how the restaurant fares with other customers. Gordon meets a busboy named John working in the back and leaves quite the impression on him.
His hair is a little crazy. Even though it looks soft, it's like...
Tickets for order are handwritten since coffee spilled on their computer and Colleen reveals they can't afford to fix it. Gordon learns the computer has been down for as long as 6 months. Despite all the troubles, Naomi and Kevin are able to serve the food pretty quickly. But the thing with fast food is, not only should it be fast, it should be tasty. Customers are sending the food back, and it's reached the point where everyone in the back is used to it by now. Things are becoming more troublesome, and Colleen is showing no signs of leadership. Customers are becoming unhappy, and the staff, including waitress Teresa, are frustrated. What does Colleen do? She gives up and goes outside. She pours her heart out to Gordon, who sympathizes with her struggles. Gordon tells her that the diner's standards have gone far too low and that friendship in business only goes so far. Colleen agrees with Gordon, knowing what his next task is: getting Colleen's standards up and making her lead by example. Gordon gets everyone seated the next day for a staff meeting and asks them to air out their grievances anonymously. It goes about as well as you can expect. We learn that the waitresses are texting in front of customers, Naomi is a pushover, and Dom is blamed for everything running out. Everyone starts confronting each other, with Dom shouting expletives, before they all come to the conclusion that there is no chef at the restaurant. For day 2, Gordon starts a recovery process. He assigns Colleen to lead the kitchen and Naomi to work with the waitresses. He also adds a special to the menu in the form of bite-sized sliders, which every staff member finds delicious. The restaurant is even busier than the previous night, thanks to knowledge of Gordon's presence. But there's a problem. They only have 13 menus for 50 seats because they couldn't afford to print any more menus. In the end, they simply rely on waiting for customers to order before passing it on to the others. Surprisingly, most order Gordon's sliders and they're a hit. However, Colleen and Kevin start to struggle and customers start getting impatient. There's some friction between Colleen and Teresa, but eventually food starts making its way to the tables. But much like day 1, the food is subpar and being sent back. To make matters worse, Gordon spots a poorly made broccoli dish before it's served and rips into the family. It's the last straw for Gordon, and he officially closes the restaurant down. It's time for another staff meeting, and Gordon lays out the facts. They went backwards instead of making progress. Gordon calls for dramatic change and says it's the only way Classic American can survive. That dramatic change started with a newly renovated Classic American that is vibrant to say the least. The family is unsurprisingly blown away, and Colleen sheds tears of joy, as does Naomi. The next change is a brand new computer, so there is no more need for handwritten tickets. Gordon also ordered a red paint job outside the restaurant, with a brand new sign, making it stand out much more. And finally, there's a menu for every table, which is more condensed with items like turkey Swiss Club sandwiches, sliders, and more, which the family all eat and enjoy. Especially Dom.
I swear to God, who needs a pig in the back garden when you got Dom? Big deep breath. Oh, Christ. Dom, save some for the staff, will you please, yeah?
An emotional Colleen gives a speech to everyone, assuring them she'd be the leader they need going forward. It's time for the grand reopening. Naomi will now take care of the kitchen while Colleen leads the staff in the dining room. Things get off to a rough start as customers arrive with nobody to greet them, as Ashley and Teresa decide to go on a smoke break. After telling off by Gordon, they look to redeem themselves. Gordon urges Naomi to showcase her leadership, and she's doing a good job thanks to her newfound confidence. Orders are going through to the customers, while Colleen has also stepped up as a floor manager, much to the pleasure of Teresa. It's not an error-free night though, as Gordon spots dirt underneath the dishes, which is Naomi's responsibility. However, it was just a small hiccup in what was an otherwise successful night with satisfied customers. All in all, it was one heck of a comeback for Classic American. Gordon gives a final speech and congratulates everyone, especially Colleen and Naomi, for stepping up as leaders. He tells them to maintain their standards before hugging everyone and leaving with optimism for the restaurant's future. Classic American would go on to implement a loyalty system and continue to run smoothly with happy customers and a happy staff. Almost a year after the original episode aired, Gordon returned to Classic American in a special revisited episode to see how it's faring.
I'm back now to see if all those changes have paid off.
Gordon meets a much happier and relaxed Colleen again, who reveals things are as busy as ever. She's in charge at the front of the house while Naomi is at the back. Gordon meets Naomi and Kevin and sees them in good spirits as well. Kevin even tells Ramsay to grab an apron and join the line.
Grab an apron?
An apron? Oh, good. Someone's found his balls. Excuse me, you want me to cook now?
Yes.
But that's not all. Naomi reveals business has gone up 35% in the last 6 months, which Gordon remarked was amazing in this economy. This was 2011 after all. Dom still takes care of inventory, but now has his own office in the garage where he can stay out of everyone's way and not shout at anyone. Gordon sits with Colleen and Naomi and is served much more appetizing food than his first time. Colleen proceeds to thank him for coming to them and essentially saving them. Gordon gets the whole restaurant's attention so that Colleen and Naomi can receive the Good Times Magazine award for Long Island's best burger. He hugs both of them and departs once again. So, what's become of Classic American, Colleen, Naomi, and everyone else since their journey on Kitchen Nightmares? Customer feedback improved as the reviews post-Kitchen Nightmares were positive, especially with regard to the quality of the food. Kitchen Nightmares seemingly played a big role with their popularity, as one Yelp review notably stated how, "Since Kitchen Nightmares, you may have to wait for a seat and park on the street." A local from West Babylon was thrilled that Classic American was the only place in town to get freshly made tater tots. Laura from Hicksville was curious to try the place after seeing it on Kitchen Nightmares. However, she found the food to be greasy and said that Gordon needed to go back to fix the place ASAP. This reviewer said that they had a giant TV in the corner playing the Kitchen Nightmares on loop, with Gordon Ramsay swearing and expletives throughout. She found it very tacky and annoying. One reviewer said she really hopes they are not falling back into their old patterns when she was told they were out of most items on the menu that evening. When fans reflect on the episode, there is one key factor they can all agree on. That Dom and his Italian New York accent is hilarious, with one Redditor saying he expects him to tell someone to go home and get their shine box, a reference to Billy from Goodfellas.
Don't go busting my balls, Billy, okay?
Hey, Tommy, if I was gonna break your balls, I'd tell you to go home and get your shine box.
Others noted how the staff and owners were mostly receptive to criticism, unlike some owners in other episodes that resist change. Sadly, Classic American would only last another couple of years, when in August 2013, the restaurant shut down for good. Colleen provided the following message on Facebook. She thanked all of her employees, friends, family, and loyal customers for their support over the 13 years. She then goes on to say that they will still be offering catering services going forward. There is no known reason why exactly Classic American had to shut down. I'd wager it was debt related, but the fact that they still offered catering shows that they weren't completely out of the business at the time. A month later, in September, a user commented on an article that the restaurant was shuttered and had a for sale sign on the property. According to Patch.com, the building was listed for sale along with a two-family home for $535,000 back in August of 2013. It would seemingly take a while, but the West Babylon location of Classic American would eventually get occupied by a new restaurant called Blue Mediterranean. Reviews were pretty good for it as well, as Yelp had it at 4.1 rating at the time of this video. Meanwhile, it was rated 4.1 stars as well by 26 OpenTable diners. That said, even it didn't last, as it shut down in late 2022, and the building seems to be empty for the time being. It was listed for sale on LoopNet in February 2022, but the listing has since closed, seemingly due to no buyers on the market. Some upbeat news though. Dom occasionally posts on Facebook, and it looks like he and Colleen are still happily together as a couple today, and are both looking good. It makes me happy that they are still together today. Naomi has posted some throwback pics to her days working in kitchens, including a behind-the-scenes photo of her with her then baby and Chef Ramsay. On her Facebook profile, she indicates her availability for culinary positions, suggesting she remains active in the industry. Outside of work, she is an avid New York Mets supporter and cherishes family time. Finally, Kevin, the chef who seemed to be catching his groove in the Revisited episode. It looks like he's gone into another line of work from his Facebook post from May of 2023, where he says, "Work with a view." Overall, he looks like he's doing well for himself and his family. I'm glad he's doing well. So what can we say about Classic American? It may have faded in obscurity, but it had genuinely good people, and a more than solid and respectable 3-year run after Gordon and Kitchen Nightmares. Hopefully, everyone involved with Classic American is doing well and has plenty of success in whatever they pursue next.